But I wanted to start, first of all, with Chandler. I mean, this has been such an incredible, long, drawn-out journey for you. How has it been right now? How are you feeling about it? I know we're coming up to some very big story beats.
Yes.
On the 23rd, I believe Kate is kind of figuring things out or questioning him about it, and then he will eventually talk to Marlena.
Yes, I mean, it's Kate kind of, I guess, out of the blue tells him that she knows everything. That was fun because it was a completely different, I guess, dynamic. But I mean, this whole storyline has been such a gift, and so much fun. And I know it took a long time to really get on his feet, but like you said, we're coming up to, I guess, the most important moments of the story, and I don't know. I'm just having. It's just so much fun to do.
And what I love is that Deidre, who Marlena's been the psychiatrist all these years on Days of Our Lives, and she's got this amazing story with her grandson Will. How did you feel about that, Deidre? That Marlena was really the key person for him to talk to and be there for him and support him? Because I think of anyone to have on the show, it was great that it was Marlena.
Thank you. I knew this before I actually came back.
You did.
And I was told during the coming back scene, I said, I'm going to keep pulling you into things because this relationship is so important. And so when I was thanking people, I pulled Chandler in and showed people, this is my family here. And it's been the same way ever since. It's been a dream working with him, and we keep surprising each other and finding new things in the relationship. And that's gold.
So Chandler, on the 26th, Will says to Marlena, "I think I'm gay." Is he? And what's he mean? I think I'm gay. Like what's happening there? Do you remember?
Yes, I do. I do because I remember thinking it was very.
Stand by Laura.
One second.
Still working our way through these scenes in the different dimension.
Salem days tend to, I guess, be very long, and it's just funny because there's three major conversations, I think, that Will and Marlena have in the same day. And the first one is, he comes and says, I think I'm gay, and obviously that's kind of, a cop-out because I think he's still he's still afraid to commit to it fully. And is kind of looking for, permission from her and to tell him this okay. And then, he's like, oh, no, I can't. And so he backtracks. It's like one step forward, two steps back kind of thing, yeah.
Which I think people do, when they're going through a coming out process. I think either they're kind of tentative, they can't quite get there, and they need somebody to help them maybe realize it.
Yeah.
And would that be Marlena, would you say? Helping him kind of realize what's really going on?
She's fine with him wherever he is, whoever he is.
Right.
So it's just a matter of taking his pace and seeing what his clarity is and accepting him and loving him wholeheartedly no matter where he is.
The kiss with Chris Christopherson's son.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
Jesse, yeah.
And, that got such great play because people thought it was hot, it was anguished, it was tortured, it was everything there. And for a gay kiss on Daytime, I thought it was an amazing, amazing moment because there was so much anguish in it. Mm-hmm. Did you realize that when you were doing it, or did you see it back, and what did you think about it?
Well, I did see it.
Did you go,
when I first read those scenes, I thought it was such a cool thing to play, what you said, the kind of physicality of it and anguish. It's not romantic in any way because, and I think it's appropriate because Will hadn't met Neil before that night, just some random guy. So there's no romance there. It's just kind of an unloading of all this feeling that he's held in at once on some random guy. So that's why I thought it was more appropriate to go for the, I guess, aggressive approach. Yeah.
But did you read kind of what people were commenting? Have you read it? There more people and more gay people that I read thought this was the most realistic. They felt it was very realistic of somebody in that situation. So I think you hit the right notes there for the audience.
Wow, thank you. I'm glad they think that.
Deidre, because of the 46 years now of Days of Our Lives, the total history of the show, it's been like amazing that finally they've done a coming out storyline. What do you think about that? It's appropriate for the time we're living it, or why it took so long? Or I know you can't speak to the producers' decisions, but what would you say about that?
Days has always been sort of the front runner of breaking new ground. We did the first crib death, possession obviously. We did the first rape. We did a black-white story, and it makes sense we would do the first real gay story. And I think Daryl and Marlena, our head writers, have been brilliant about giving it to us in dribs and drabs. So we love him. We care about him. We only want him to be fine and happy. And by the time we buy into loving him, we see that he's going down a different road than we would have chosen for him. And I think it's important that we've taken it in such small steps, and people that would normally have said, I ain't going there with you, have said, all right, I'm going. I'm going.
That's a really great analogy,
Yes.
because on other shows that have attempted a lot of these same-sex stories or a coming-out story, they've at times, middle America has felt that it was shoved down their throats, where this has been a slow build, a slow burn with the character. And also what I love about it, I don't know both of you, but I love the fact that he's not such a great, upstanding guy anymore because he's working with EJ. So,
Yes, that's it's always fun to play when you're.
Christian Alfonso, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yes, it's always fun to play a character when he kind of shifts into a gray area. So that's fun. I like that because it's another thing to play rather than just the angst that comes from struggling with your sexuality, because that's not, realistically, people who are dealing with that aren't just dealing with that one thing. There's other things going on in their lives that affect that and affect them in other ways. So.
Does Marlena know he's working with EJ? I can't remember whether
she does know.
And what does she think about that?
Well, she's horrified by it, and she's certainly warned him and feels very protective towards him. Just to flash forward a little bit, we had scenes that we did right before our break, those rain scenes.
Oh, yes.
And you and I got separated before everybody went their separate ways. But Chandler is taking on some moments coming up. You're going to think, James Dean, you're back.
What?
I watched it at the table with you. You don't know what's going on, but it's very intense stuff, and we're all caught in this driving, pouring rain. And I watched the table and I thought, oh my gosh, look at that. And then because I taped my scenes in my room, looked back and thought, it's James Dean. Oh my gosh. So. You're stretching, baby. You're stretching.
And I'm glad she said that, because when I interview a lot of the actors at Days, they're going, and then there's Chandler Massey, and he's grown incredibly and is stretching. This is a lot of your castmates are saying this to me on separate interviews, just picking that out. I'm not necessarily saying, what do you think about Chandler?
I'm slipping
You're paying them
bills after it now. Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, because that changes our lifestyle.
Yeah.
What would you say about working with each other? Deidre, what do you think? You kind of tapped on the Chandler's so outstanding in this role, but what is he like as a person to work with? Because you've worked with everybody in Daytime, right? So what's so special about your relationship, would you say, off screen?
It's a level of trust and a level of fun, and we try every day to find the magic in the relationship. Whether it's, we came up with a Scrabble thing. We came up with, okay, I've hidden candy, you go find it. We slap, we shove each other. There's such, well, I slap you. And there's such a level of adventure and fun and safety in doing it. And the audience is seeing it. I love this man. I love this man.
I'm gathering from my time that I've known you all these years, this is one of your favorite scene partners.
It is. Okay. No question.
Okay, your turn.
Wow. Okay, your turn, honey.
Try to
Don't
top
feel
that.
pressured now.
Try to top that.
Oh my gosh! I
Put
mean,
beautiful in somewhere.
First of all, Deidre Hall.
Yes.
The Deidre Hall.
Number one. No, I actually admit when I got the job, I went back and watched. I became a fan of Days before I started working, and so I was like, I'm like, I was and am a fan of yours, and so when you came back, I was very intimidated a little bit, because
that's always good, yeah.
Yeah, but
the intimidation.
But, really, I mean, it's just so, I don't know if I could put it any better than what she said, but it's just so much fun, and like she says, a level of respect, and and trust and love in it. It's just, and I really love working with her, and there's I think we have on screen, just it's like playfulness and always trying to find those real moments in the scene which I don't really, have with other. I mean, everyone in the cast is fantastic, but I think here it's like unique where I don't know. I'm getting, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. And on April 4th, that is the date that I want to tell everybody, as long as there's not a preemption anywhere, that Will actually does come out to Marlena. That is the moment. Can you preview anything? Do you remember taping those scenes? Or was it just another part of the...
I think that was at the town square, right? The scenes with where we eat where we share the piece of the cake or whatever, and
Was that it, or was it in the apartment? We're so far ahead of them.
See, they're far ahead. They're a couple months ahead when they
We're way
tape.
ahead
Let's
of you
explain.
all.
Right.
So, and what we can say is there's even more stuff coming up. I don't want to speak over this.
We're live here at the set,
Yeah.
taping the show.
Deidre, Christian, and Peter.
I remember thinking, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. This is so huge. Just let this man do what he's doing and hold the space for him and watch him be a giant. They're extraordinary scenes, and you shouldn't be here for this.
We'll talk privately later.
But it really is. It's been a dream to watch it. It's going to be extraordinary for you all to see it, and don't miss a frame of it. And I happen to notice that you're on the pre-Emmy list, and if that doesn't happen, I'm going to have to, I don't know.
We're all going to have to do
Make
something.
some phone
We're going to
calls,
have to do a
because
Tanya
it's-
Harding on some people. I'm feeling
Yeah.
a Tanya Harding. All right. What are the people, the fans, what are people that you know saying to both of you? I know you're on Twitter. I know you are. What is the response you're getting about the story, about Marlena and Will, about the coming out story? Are you hearing from the LGBT community? What are you hearing?
I'll start that because the Deidre Hall fan page, we have an open dialogue at all times, and I check on 3 or 4 times a day on Facebook, and normally I'll talk about a recipe, I'll talk about a thing, and I'll have 50 people respond. There were over 200 responsive when I said thank you for supporting a gay story. People are beside themselves. I was at an event the other day, a publicity event, and a photographer whom I don't know came up to me and said, I have to stop. Thank you so much for that story. So people are reacting, and I haven't been stopped about a storyline since Possession.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's big. It's
Okay.
big.
They're stopping you and saying.
Oh no. As for me, I don't know. I guess all the responses, the tweets that people send me have all been really positive, and it's nice. And aside from that, I don't really have a way to kind of gauge the response. I mean, I know my friends and family who watch the show appreciate it and everything, but aside from that,
He's
I don't
very
know.
humble about it, right? Yeah. Right. But Lucas, will he get there?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I guess we're still filming and everything, but I would say Lucas is the more level-headed of the two of Will's parents. By a small
smidge,
amount.
by a
Yeah,
smidge.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think so. Will and Lucas have a nice, interesting bond too, because because he lived in Hong Kong, for a while. It almost seems like they get along better because they're not always, Will and Sammy are always fighting because
right.
they're living together and everything. So, yeah, I would say he will.
What would you love to see happen? What would you love to see happen? I know we talked that you don't want necessarily. Do you want him to have a boyfriend that's too soon? Do you want him to continue to be kind of a badass with EJ? Do you want him to do something good? Do you want to see it be something to the LGBT community where he eventually accepts himself and does good for a cause?
Wow. Geez, I would love. As much as I love, the stuff with EJ and kind of flirting with the bad side. I feel like really that's not who Will is at his core. He's a good guy, and I think. I think once Will finally gets over that place where he can accept himself, I would like to have some, just at least like a month or so where he's just happy, content, has nothing going on. I mean, just
Like going to a movie and just enjoying life, and yeah, right.
Just playing some more Scrabble and everything, and just kind of.
I'm sorry, but gay characters on Daytime can't do that, no?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Awesome. Thank you, Deidre. Thank you, Chandler.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Michael.